Hey, badass business owners. Welcome back to the show. If you own a small business serving your local community, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about 5 common mistakes that business owners make that is costing them thousands of dollars in profits. And you're going to notice I focused on profits and not just sales, because at the end of the day, sales are amazing. Sales are great. But at the end of the day, we want profits. We need to make money, right? All the sales in the world does not make a profitable company. So the first one we're going to talk about is not focusing like a CEO, but thinking more like an employee. A lot of times what happens is we get sucked into the grind of doing what it is that we do. And we spend the majority of our time just doing what it is that we do. We chase the sales. Yes, we try to get as many sales as we can, but the problem is the majority of our time is actually doing what it is that we do. And when we do that, we stop working on the business. We stop focusing. When you first started your business, you were thinking like a business owner because you were coming up with ways that you were going to grow the business. You had a vision and you were taking some steps. But as you get bigger and start to take on more business, pretty soon you get sucked in. And those hours that you had set aside to work on the business, you're no longer doing. And if you aren't in the middle of the doing, usually you're doing some paperwork, you're billing, you're doing some of that stuff. So technically that's working on the business, but it's just wearing another employee hat within the business. I'm talking about sitting down, diving into your numbers, figuring out who your competition is, how you can make your business better, how you can fix broken processes. That's really what you need to be spending a portion of your time on, because that's when you're wearing that CEO hat. But even when you're pricing like an employee, because you're setting these prices and you're going, oh, well, let's see, it's going to cost me this much money and I need to try to make this much money. So this is what I'm going to price it at, as opposed to sitting down and using our sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profit, instead of using that to try to help make sure that you're pricing correctly. Because once again, you get paid with 2 hats, right? You get paid as the employee, once as the owner. You only get paid as the owner if you are profitable. This is a big one. And I know it's hard to carve out time, but it's a matter of, instead of you going out chasing more sales, to slow down and sometimes find that 1 or 2 hours to work on the business to be more profitable with the business you already have. And that's a huge thing that I think a lot of times what we fail to do is we keep chasing more sales versus figuring out the business you have, making it run really well, and then take on more business, because then you're going to be able to profit with what you're doing. There's only so many hours in the day, and if you keep chasing sales, guess what? You're never going to find the time to work on the business. So find the time to work on the business, become as profitable as possible, and then move on to that next level. Now, because I just mentioned a bunch of things that have to do with number 2, and that is knowing your business numbers. This is a huge mistake that a lot of business owners make for the very first few years of their business. Sometimes they'll even go up to 10 years doing this. But what happens is you realize that you can only go so far. You can only grow so much. Like I said, there's only so many hours in the day. So you have to figure out how you can take the business numbers that you have and make sure that you're checking all the boxes, that you are pricing correctly. For example, that you are diving in and seeing where the money is going in your business. We call it the flow of money through your business. You know what's going on, and dive into those cost of goods and make sure you're capturing the right way. And can you buy better? Looking at your expenses, where are you wasting money? Where can you dial that down? Everything that you can do to try to increase those profits. And then when you are ready for more sales, using those business numbers to tell you what is the best sellers that you have, and which ones do you make more money on, and which ones are you chasing that make you no money. Business numbers tell you so much information. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I talk about this all of the flippin' time. It is probably the single biggest thing that you can do that's going to help you understand your business better and help you make more money. So it is a huge mistake. I went back and forth between number 1 and number 2 as to which one was the biggest one. But honestly, you need to understand your business numbers. But the reason that working on your business became number 1 is because you need to find the time to work on your business to start studying those business numbers. So really, they're married, they go together. But so number 1, focus on your business and make sure that you think like a business owner, not an employee. Number 2, know those business numbers. Number 3 mistake that a lot of business owners make is they try to serve everybody. Just because 50,000 people live around you doesn't mean you can serve all 50,000 people. There is something that you you do that you provide a service that takes away a pain that somebody is feeling. Your ultimate customer is the one that needs you the most. And a lot of business owners fail to stop and really focus on who is it they actually serve. Just because you're a landscaper and everybody has a yard doesn't mean that every single person is going to want to use you. You need to focus on the people that have the money, the desire, the need to be able to use your services. And once you fine tune that down, you're going to find that you start chasing good sales versus bad sales. You start chasing the right sales. You know what? If you have a garage door opener business, you're going to focus on the neighborhoods that have garage doors versus trying to blanket everybody, including those with carports. Once again, you need to try to make sure that you really identify who your core person is. Not everybody's going to go to every type of restaurant. For example, if you own a steak restaurant, people that are vegan are not going to be coming. Why are you trying to target them? You need to target the audience that really wants to have your product. So at the end of the day, one of the mistakes that a lot of business owners make is they try to serve everyone. And I want you to make sure that you are focusing in on what pain points you solve, who you serve, and make sure those are the people that you are trying to take care of. Number 4, growing too fast too soon. Now, this may sound weird. Your business is doing good, so you want to go off and you want to tackle another market and you want to try to take on more business, or you want to add another service to your thing. Whatever it is, a mistake a lot of business owners make is they grow way too fast. They expand way too far. And in the beginning, it's like this rush because you're doing all of these sales and you're doing all this business and you're pulling your hair out. But the problem is you grew in a way that's unsustainable, because let's just say you went and tackled another market. Well, pretty soon you're not even really servicing the market you're in because there's so many houses. I talk about this 5-mile radius that if you focus within 5 to 10 miles of your home base, you're going to get plenty of business because there's plenty of customers there, unless you're just in a bad location. And another thing is when you tackle on new services or you buy up little companies and stuff like that, you get that initial rush of their business, but you've never put the right processes in place. You've never figured out how to run the initial business the right way. That way you can duplicate it. So now you're trying to figure out how to run both businesses within your business or these new services, and you can't really quite get your arms around it, and you're bleeding profit. So you're not as profitable as you can be. Because remember, this is costing you thousands of dollars in profits. So it's not saying that you can't have a decent company that is able to last, but you're never going to make as much money as you can because you can't chase both rabbits at the same time. And we've got to really figure out how a business complements what it is that we're doing. If we're going to go to a new market, you need to figure out hey, I've got my initial market dialed down. All I have to do is rinse and repeat in the new market. You want growth, absolutely, but you want to do it as controlled growth. So this way that you don't hurt your profits while you go chase something. And a lot of times when we take on a new business, your profits drop initially while you're trying to get that up and running, but you should be able to have a shorter learning curve than you did the first time, because all you got to do is duplicate what it is that you've been doing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are victims of their own success because they grow way too fast. And it's a tough one because you want to root them on because they're doing so well, but you just wonder, if you sat down and you dove into the numbers, how much profit is being left on the table because of somebody growing way faster than they probably should. Number 5. Now, this is going to be a weird one for some of you guys. There are people that cost themselves tons of profit because they think they know it all and that others just don't understand their business. And what happens is they're not open to hearing or learning from mentors, coaches, or other business owners. And what they do is they get so stuck that anytime anyone tries to give them little pieces of advice that would help their business, or they could monitor and mentor with another business owner, they just put these blinders on and think they know everything that they need to know. And honestly, if you talk to almost all the most successful businesses that are out there, they'll tell you they had a coach, they had a mentor, they had somebody that they could rely on to help kick them in the butt when they needed to help them see the things that they didn't see. And they realized they were going to need to constantly be learning. And honestly, we all need to constantly be learning. If you take all the top CEOs that are out there, they all will tell you that they're always reading and they're always learning, and they have mentors, they have coaches, they have people that help them. And there are a lot of business owners that walk around that do really well, and they're like, well, nobody knows my business like I do, or you just don't understand, or you have this type of business and you don't understand my business. You know what? At the end of the day, business is business. There might be some nuances to a particular business, but Every business is run from a business number standpoint. And no matter what you have to do for your business, you might have quirks that you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's about that flow of money through your business, from sales, cost of goods, expenses to profit. Everybody does that. Every business looks like that. And some of the weirdness that's to your business, yeah, it might be unique to your business, but it in no way makes you that special that you don't need somebody else that you can rely on or have kick you in the butt, remind you of different things, or that you personally can't do it to yourself and that you can't go out there and learn and study from the best that are out there. So let me ask you a question. Are you guilty of any of these 5 things? Let's hit them up one more time before we end this. One is not focusing on the business enough and running around with a job mentality, that you think more like an employee than a business owner, that you don't carve out the time to work on your business. Number 2, that you don't know your business numbers, that you're not diving in. You might know some surface stuff. You might have memorized the sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits, but you've really never taken it further than that. You haven't dove in and really learned your P&L, your profit and loss, or looking at trends within your business, using the business numbers to help you grow and make more money. Number 3, that you're still out there trying to serve everybody, are running around like crazy, and that you have not fine-tuned what it is that you do and what service you provide or what pain point you take care of. Number 4, growing way too fast, way too soon, that you're taking on more and more business, that you're going into new markets, you're expanding the services or products that you offer before you've dialed down what it is that you do today. And number 5, that you think that you know it all or that nobody understands your business enough. And by the way, the 5th one is the hardest one for someone to admit to, because it's an ego thing. And we all have an ego. And part of what makes us successful is the fact that we take no prisoners and we get stuff done. So believe it or not, a lot of us, including myself, we all have an ego, and it's very difficult for us to hear anyone try to tell us what to do. It's something that we do poorly. So I get number 5 totally, because like I said, guilty as charged on that one at different times. But I'm also a lifelong learner and I love to learn. So the good thing is, as much as I'm stubborn about taking advice, I'm really good at learning and studying. So I kind of offset it, or at least that's what I tell myself. All right. At the end of the day, which of the 5 are you guilty of, and how much in profits are you losing because you're stuck in the rut with one of these 5 things? So I just wanted to bring them up to you because I really wanted to make sure that you are always in tune with what your weaknesses are. It's great that you know what your strengths are, but the best business owners out there are always in tune with what their weaknesses are, and they're constantly working on them. Are you ever going to become an expert or a pro in those weaknesses? No, but you can turn them from something that hurts your business to something that can start to help your business because you are aware of your weaknesses. When we're aware of our weaknesses, we can actually take things to the next level because we know what we don't know, and we know what we always need to be working on, and we're looking for opportunities to improve in those areas. So that's all I want to challenge you on is, if you want to make more money in your business, focus on these 5 things, and I promise you're going to start making more money. Are there other things that you can do above and beyond? Absolutely. But if you don't get these 5 things right, you're going to always struggle maximizing how much money it is that you can make. So what I want you to do, dive into those 5, know your strengths and weaknesses in them all, and get out there and kick some butt, because you're out there to make lots of money, lots of profit, and have an amazing business. With that, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell. It's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.